Ready. Did you get a little thing on your screen? Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome to the Realtor Refresh bonus day. I was saying I really need this refreshing because, well, I won't get into a story, right? Because the story that we really want to hear is about how this refreshing has impacted others. But before I get to that, I just want to introduce our guest here on the screen. She is someone who actually invited me many years ago, I will say, maybe 2-3 years ago. I was sent this link of this very passionate man speaking about the kingdom. And I wondered, who is this guy? You know, when I first heard him, I thought, oh, this is too loud for me. I can't, I can't take this. However, once I really listened with my ears and my heart, I really heard a passionate person who really loved the kingdom and wanted to share the kingdom passionately with others. And in that regard, I am so grateful that I didn't just turn away and disregard the message because of the messenger. And I've come to love the messenger, by the way. I've come to love the messenger. But it's just so important when someone is sharing something with you that you take the time to see if they find value in it, then it must be something important to pay attention to. And so I found value once I did actually listen to the message that was delivered by Pedro Adeo. I'm hearing my double.
Oh, now we can't hear you. I think you're on mute now. Oh, there you go.
Okay, I muted the wrong one. I need to mute Facebook. Thank you. Because when you're live streaming, you hear both. So I am going to, this is learning from a pro here. Let's see. So I'm going to mute the Facebook one. I can find it.
It's like in the bottom left corner.
Bottom left corner. Okay. Let me find it. Okay, here we go. I see the pause and I see.
You could probably pause yourself on Facebook. It won't.
That won't affect the feed if I pause on Facebook?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I found it. I found it. Yay. Patience is a virtue. Thank you. That's weird when you're hearing yourself twice delayed. It's really, really strange. So if you've done this, so you understand that.
Oh yeah.
So where I left off is, it's so important when someone shares something that they find of value with you, that you take the time to listen. And so that is what this challenge has been about. Realtor Refresh. We happen to be realtors, many of us that are in this group. And even if you're not a realtor, maybe you're a business person, or even you work from home, or you're a stay-at-home spouse. And I didn't say stay-at-home mom because they're stay-at-home spouses. Regardless of your life's journey, this information is valuable for refreshing. And so in that regard, Krista Dunk is my mentor in the kingdom for this particular 100X journey that I've started. So I'd like her to kind of tell where her origin story is with 100X, and tell the people a little bit about yourself, those that may not know who you are and all the various hats that you wear. If you could just share that with us, that would be awesome.
Sure. Thanks, Cathy. And just so you all know, if you don't, know Cathy really well, we've known each other for, I don't even know now, probably at least 15 years, I would think.
Yes,
something like that. And Cathy is the real deal, the designated broker at our office, and she pretty much knows all the answers to all my questions when it comes to real estate. And so I really appreciate your knowledge and expertise, and just the caring way in which you help
Mm-mm.
others.
Mm.
And so I do have my real estate license in the state of Washington, and I'm part of Cathy's office. And I do some real estate, and I also do book related work with authors, and actually lead the 100x publishing opportunities that we have within the 100x community, as well as being a mom and a wife and fun stuff like that. So yeah, 100x started in, I believe it was June of 2018. And I became a part of it in July of 2018.
Oh,
So like
wow.
1 month after it started is kind of when I
Wow.
discovered it, and
Literally,
kind of
you're a
participated in it.
founding member.
Yeah, we call either like the OGs, we say.
Oh,
There's
okay.
some of us
Oh,
around
geez.
still.
Okay.
Quite a
Okay.
few actually. I think there were 90 some people in our little Facebook group at that time. And it was
Mm,
just, there wasn't a lot going on at that time. It really was just Pedro wanting to talk about his experiences and his viewpoints and kind of mindsets and things about being a kingdom entrepreneur. And then after he did, kind of gathered a bunch of other people together for a month, they all went, well, now what do we do?
uh-oh.
And he was like, I don't know. Maybe we could have like a year-long something where we talk about more stuff. And so
Mm-hmm.
he kind of, I've seen an evolution of the 100x movement pretty much from the beginning. So it's been interesting and fun to watch and be a part of. And for me, at that time, I don't think I was really looking for another business group necessarily to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoyed the fact that they were talking about like how the prophetic ties in with business, or those types of things. And I thought, oh, that sounds really fascinating, because I wanted to know more about those kind of deeper spiritual things. And I was like, oh, and it's business too? Okay, I'm in. And so that's where I started. And I would say, when it comes to business, I think we have a lot of things that can hinder us at times, and we don't
Yes.
realize why or what's happening, or we have limiting beliefs, or we have mindsets, or we have like heart wounds
Mm,
and past experiences. And
you're
when
right.
you're in the business world, you pretty much just hear about strategies and marketing and
All the things.
all the things, all the skill sets and um, stuff like that, but you don't necessarily hear that often about how your spiritual growth and your soul health and relationships and just different things can affect your business and work life. And so that's, I think, one of the biggest things I've appreciated about the 100x community is the great people, but then taking a look at some of these other aspects of you as a whole person
Yes.
coming forward in your business life, and how that really does make a difference. So yeah.
Did you see that up front? I mean, what was the catalyst that got your attention? Like, what is it that really struck you?
As far as like when I first wanted to join, or
Yes,
just as it got going. And
as the first, because we're
I,
talking to people that are not in 100x and they have an opportunity to join acceleration. And I
oh
think it's
yeah.
important to kind of understand, what is it that was the tipping point for you? I mean, everybody has their own tipping point. I think I talked about what mine was yesterday, but could you kind of share what was the tipping point to take you, into the community?
I think there were two things. I mentioned one of them, that
Mhm.
was the
Prophetic.
spiritual growth and the
Mhm.
prophetic stuff that goes on in there. It's just a lot of, I think so. Pedro's best friend is Keith Ferrante, who is a
Yes.
prophet. And so he will come in sometimes and do different trainings and stuff. And I was like blown away by that part of it, because I just didn't have exposure to that in my life, really.
Right.
I love that. And then I think also there was an aspect of collaboration and like just the people in there. It's a bigger group now, which then again is more people to collaborate and connect with and network with too. But
True.
I think it was just the connection with the people, seeing what other people were doing, and just learning from each other as well. Pedro didn't have at that time like his 6 stakes that he talks about, where there's like 3 kind of inner world things that we can develop, and then 3 more like skill sets that we can develop. He hadn't even defined those yet. However, he was always talking about those things, which I really appreciated. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. That gives me a better perspective on that, because seeing the 6 stakes, it just makes me understand how we are, full circle beings. And now Pedro's taken his baseline acceleration and leveled it up. So he's now doing level 2, which we are a part of, level 2, which has to do with all the things, the skill sets, the public speaking, the making an offer creation. I mean, it has all those different elements, and I'm not remembering all of them at the moment, but it has all of those.
Skills.
You remember them? Go for it. Skill sets, starting with, what is it? Offer creation, public speaking.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember all of those now. He's like
I'll
doing
post them
one
after.
kind of like
Right.
every month or 6 weeks or something, a focus.
Right.
But they're all super necessary.
Yes. And they all help in business and life. I mean, whether you're a business person or realtor or not, I think all of those aspects helps in life. So what would you say to someone who is hearing this information for the first time, that is a Christian or is curious about Christianity or kingdom, that whole notion of kingdom, and merging that, or having almost like 2 separate worlds, so to speak, my business side and my personal or spiritual side? What would you say to someone who's looking at it from 2 different, saying, well, that stays in that corner and that stays in that corner, kind of like I go to church on Sunday and that's enough, or in its own little pocket, so to speak? What could you say to someone who's seeing that things need to be compartmentalized?
Yeah, and I wonder if men do that a little bit more than women do. They have the boxes of the
right.
The boxes don't touch. They're
Right. It doesn't fit there. Yeah.
Exactly. And maybe that's not the case. Maybe that's just my impression. But there are people though who do compartmentalize their lives, and I don't know if that actually really works, because if you think about having issues or struggles or stress, or I feel like stuff just goes from box to box. It doesn't care that you want to compartmentalize stuff.
Right.
They just are going to flow into each other, kind of whether you want them to or not. But for me, I think personally, I appreciate the fact that I can really just be more authentically me in every area of my life, and not really have to kind of feel like I don't want to like separate out stuff. Because I feel like as a whole person, if you're growing and learning and developing, it really does help every area of your life. You're going to learn things that's like, oh, that business thought can actually help in my relationships over here.
Yes.
And, those limiting beliefs that I've had help pretty much everywhere, you know, to get over some of those things. So I would say, you know, if somebody were thinking, you know, I can't be in a business group that talks about God or
Online.
things,
Sorry.
I don't think that's a, you got, I know you have a full house over there. But yeah, just explore that and see how it feels, see how it works. I think it kind of might be a little freeing to
Right,
think about it in that way.
right,
So
right. Because we're one being, but we have many parts, and
yeah,
each part wants to be connected to the other part, not disconnected. And that's what I think of when I think of the compartments. I'm thinking, okay, it's just like you're in a store. There's so many different departments, but without a certain department, it really wouldn't be the same store because it's missing something. So that's kind of my take on it. I had another question, but the distraction kind of got me. So let me
the squirrels came by.
the squirrels and the nuts. Okay.
I love it.
Yes, 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 yes. It just, the thought just went away.
I know, I was gonna say something too, and you were talking, and that went away too. Man, what we wear a lot of hats, and
Yes,
the
yes,
thoughts
we do. Yes, we do.
jump from hat to hat sometimes.
Yes, yes. Oh, I know now. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, so what I was thinking when you said the people, what the word that came up for me is family, because 100X talks a lot about family, and they don't just talk it, they actually walk it. And I've been in many organizations and groups that say we're a family, we're a family. But to me, family means you're there, you listen, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, and you participate fully. You don't withhold anything, and you're transparent. That's what I really appreciate about Pedro's family concept, is because it's true. I mean, you could choose in or choose out, right? You know, with
Yeah.
anything, but the majority choose in to the notion of friendship, family, and fun because it's really genuine and they model that. I think they do a very good job, Pedro and Suzette. And I hadn't really said much about Suzette, and I plan to post a little more information on here about the 100X community and Pedro and Suzette, because they're the cornerstones for the movement or the development, whatever you want to call it. But it is a movement. It's about the kingdom, and it's about expanding the kingdom, which is a biblical principle. So the family aspect is what I really appreciated. When I heard you say earlier, is that the people, I was thinking, what about the people?
You're right,
So,
because that is one of the things, actually, now that you mention it, that I thought up front too, was they're so genuine, Pedro and Suzette, and
yes,
they're not people who are trying to push some image. I mean, they're wildly successful, really.
yes,
Um,
in their own right, in
but
their own right.
yeah, and because they have their financial business, and they've done that for years, and plus the 100X and some other challenge training that they do. But they were just so real. And they did,
Yes,
you know, the family kind of feel was definitely a draw for me too.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm going to spotlight you because I have someone else coming on
Oh,
the
it's Deborah.
Zoom. Yes, so
Deborah.
I can bring her up to a little later if she'd like to be spotlighted. But I want to honor your time and make sure that you are able to speak about 100X fully in terms of what your what you would say to someone who maybe is having some doubts about the validity, or doubts about whether it's necessary, or doubts about the cost or time or any of those things. What would you say? I mean, you sound like you didn't really have many objections when you joined the community, because as you said, it was evolving. So it's evolved into this this huge movement. It started in its infancy when you were part of, when you started. So some of the objections that are coming up today are probably a lot different than they would have been in the past. So what are your thoughts or comments concerning someone who might just be on the fence, like, is this for me?
Yeah, that's true. And I think, a lot of times people think of the money part of it, the time part of it. Do I really even need this? I mean, honestly, that was kind of my thought at first,
Mhm.
do I really need this
Right,
business group? Do I really,
right.
do I need something else to do? And I have to tell you, when it did become a membership thing, I paid twice as much to
Ooh,
join as what they offer it for now.
wow,
Twice as much.
wow.
And I would do it again in
Yeah,
a heartbeat. And so I like something Pedro says is like, you are good soil. And I
yes,
think if we can think, especially like as realtors, I mean, sure, we get our clock hour education and things like that, but there's not a lot of other places to learn. And I mean, maybe a local realtor association meetings and things like that, networking groups, but those have their own kind of purpose. I love 100x in just like the whole person growth and a lot of excellent business strategies. I mean,
yes,
really some great ideas you probably never thought of, that could work for you as a realtor. There are people in all industries and even people who are just searching for,
right,
like, I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do next or whatever that is, and which is totally fine. But a lot of realtors in there, a lot of all kinds of people, doing all kinds of great things. So I would just say, um, give it a chance. And it's a business expense. It's like business training, right?
true, true, true.
So sometimes we need those. And so get a business write-off and get an amazing group, make some new friends, make some new connections. There is a section of 100x. There's kind of a side group also that's about real estate. There's a Facebook group that's specifically part of that too. So
Yes,
I know people have referred clients across the country and things like that in times past. So give it a shot.
right,
It's
right,
it's more than you think it is. Like whatever you are wanting kind of in your spiritual walk or your business walk, it's there,
right,
which is really
right,
exciting, I think. So
right.
I would say that.
It's like a smorgasbord. There's
Yeah.
dessert, there's vegetables, there's
Appetizers.
desserts, it's just everything. And
Yeah.
I did not post yet, but I will. All of the things that are included, you touched on some of them, which has to do with the prophetic, the heart healing, the
Yeah.
let's see what else. A Real Talk Monday, which has to do with
Yeah.
mindsets. There's pretty much something going on every day. And then
Almost
there's
every day.
family rooms that layer upon layer upon layer. So it's
Yeah.
rich. And I love what you said, what Pedro says, it's good soil. So if we're good soil, then why not invest in yourself? Because you're investing in yourself when you purchase programs like this. I don't really even call it a purchase. I call it an investment.
Hmm. I agree. Invest in yourself. That's
Yes,
right.
invest in yourself.
Yep. You're the
Okay.
best investment that you can make.
Yes, yes, you are. Well said, well said. So I'm not sure how you're doing on time. Like I said, I want to honor your time, and I want to see if Miss Deborah wants to come up on screen, or you want to stay in the chat room.
Oh, there she is.
There I go.
Oh, awesome. Let me spotlight you and take it off of myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop my spotlight. Sorry, I'm talking through this because this is like new, new processing. Uh-oh, I
Oh,
did
yeah.
stop video instead of, let's see, start video. I'll figure it out, Deborah. go.
Oh, you're fine. I think Kristen said it well, that the group has everything you need. Just an ideal, just from collaborating with other people. One thing that has happened for me being in the group, which has not been that long, is that sometimes it's about just being in the room. And what I mean by that is sometimes you're in the room, you get such knowledge and you meet individuals that help your business. I mean, my business has accelerated because it's not so much saying anything. It was like the mind shift that took place from me that really helped my business, because sometimes it's just the little things that you have, and there's so much to have that they have. I mean, I know Kristen knows Julie Winston, Julie Winston, from Julie Winston came, someone else to my group, which Mr. Wickman, we did it like a one-on-one just talking. Then he mentioned this Pedro, and I was like, oh, let me go look on here. And then I seen his energy. I'm like, oh my God, I have found my peeps. I mean, because I'm like all over the place. I'm like, I have found my peeps. And then to go to conference and to see you ladies there. And I remember emails, wait a minute, you're in Pedro. And I'm like, oh my God. And then it's just been a family. And it's funny because we all came from the same church years ago, and look how we're collaborating. I mean, Cathy, you were my realtor at one point, but just seeing how, we've coming back together, and just a different shift, understanding the kingdom mindset, and just, advancing and just learning, what skill sets, from that, I'm just in all different challenges, but each one has something different to challenge in me on other things. Cause I agree. I'm like, oh, what do I need? What can I get from this? Because, when you think about real estate, it's a little bit different, but there's a lot to offer. So I agree with anybody out there. If you second guessing, it's about what do you feel like you're worth? Because it's about a skill set. And when you think about that skill set like that, you don't think about the money because it's an investment. But for some people, you might need to do those free challenges so that your mind shift can change and say, wait a minute, I am really worth this. So that's my
right.
comments on that.
Well, thank you, ladies. And I am going to, I'm telegraphing everything I'm doing. Sorry. This is interesting because I'm in my living room with an open house, and it's just real interesting how I'm able to pull this off, but it's because I'm refreshed, right? Realtor refreshed. That's what it's all about. So I want to thank my guests. I'm just removing the spotlight for a second. Yeah, just want to thank you ladies both for just sharing your origin story, Krista and Deborah, for sharing just what the value is and sharing the aspect of investment, because this is about an investment and it's not just the purchase and it's not just the thing. So I want to challenge anyone who is listening to this, that if you have been wondering what the connection is between your kingdom / Christianity and your business / entrepreneurship, this is the place. 100X Acceleration Level 1. Take the time to look through the guides. Each day we had some powerful information. I mean, day 1, all about ownership, real estate. That's what we do. We transact real estate in ownership between owners of properties. And then day 2, Deborah knocked it out of the park with stewardship. If you haven't taken a look at that, take a look at that video about stewardship, all of those golden nuggets that she left about being a team, being a part, and being basically a good steward, or maybe not such a good steward. We're human, right? We have flaws, but we have a redeemer. So, and we all live in the kingdom. So, and then the third day, Miss Nadia, and say her name right, from Canada, came and brought us the gift of generosity. And I didn't know her name meant hope, which I think that's a God thing. Some things just line up, and this has just lined up to be a true refreshing, because like I said, this is more for me being refreshed, because when I hear the word, when I hear other people accelerating and advancing in life, in the kingdom, uh, it makes my heart glad, because you want for others what you have, especially if it's something good. You don't want to pass on. Like right now, my mother is experiencing COVID. She's literally in the emergency room. I just left there. So, and I'm probably as well, but that doesn't stop the movement, because the enemy's job is to sabotage. I mean, so we could fall prey to woe is me and the sabotage and all those things, but I serve a king, and he's got this in control. It's all in his hand. So that's why I'm doing this, so I could be refreshed. I need this just as much as you. So if you don't think you need this, I'd say think again. Think again, because you probably do. In fact, I'd say you definitely do, because the whole concept of learning about the kingdom, that revelation that you get in knowing, is what makes you want to move forward and propel and push on. Because where others will say, oh, I can't do that, these things come up, all the things, life happens, right? Life happens. And I'm not saying dismiss life. I'm saying be a part of life, grow, stretch, reach. So take the time, listen to the replays. As of tonight, I'm going to extend it another night, because I've been a little slow in getting all of the information up on the page. So I'm going to extend it one more night for the acceleration at the price that it's at. There's a link. So if you're interested in joining the acceleration, there'll be information there. If you just want lifetime access to these replays, I'll have information on how you can obtain that. And if you want to go on a monthly journey with me in refreshing, I'll have information on that, because the Bible says, if you refresh others, you will be refreshed. So thank you for refreshing me. It's 3:33. That is the time I wanted to stop today, because this is the bonus session. So I may pop in a little later just to kind of give you an update on mom. If anyone's interested, just kind of let you know if she's okay. I've spoken to the doctor, so I'm pretty at peace on how she's doing. I think she will recover. She is recovering. She's actually got some other issues beside COVID that are impacting her health. So I appreciate you ladies. I appreciate all of my listeners here, and look forward to seeing you in acceleration. If you have any questions, you can direct message me. I will be sending a message through Facebook Messenger to kind of give you another opportunity to join. But thank you so much for being a part of Realtor Refresh.
Thank
All
you,
right.
too.
You're welcome. Enjoy
Praying
your
for your
day.
mom. Praying for
Thank
your mom.
you. Thank you. Definitely.
We're
Definitely.
definitely praying. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.